மத்திய பட்ஜெட் தாக்கல் செய்யப்பட இருக்கும் இந்த வேளையில மத்திய அரசாங்கம் இந்த பட்ஜெட் பத்தி குறிப்பிடும் போது எல்லோருக்குமான பட்ஜெட்டா இது அமையும் அப்படின்னு குறிப்பிட்டிருக்காங்க. இதுல முக்கியமா நாம பார்க்க வேண்டியது பெண்களுக்கு என்ன முக்கியத்துவம் அளிக்கப்படுகிறது. குறிப்பா சொல்லணும்னா இந்தியாவில் அதாவது ஒட்டுமொத்தமா 10 நாடுகள் பொருளாதாரத்துல முன்னணியில இருக்கக்கூடிய 10 நாடுகள்ல இந்தியாவில் மட்டும்தான் பெண்களுடைய பங்களிப்பு என்பது குறைவா இருக்கிறதா சொல்லப்படுது. இது இந்தியாவுடைய பொருளாதாரத்திற்கும் ஒரு பின்னடைவா தான் பார்க்கப்படுது. அந்த வகையில சிஐஐ சார்பா இந்த இந்தியன் விமென் என்போர்ஸ்மெண்ட் அதாவது இங்க இருக்கக்கூடிய பெண்களை முன்னிலைப்படுத்துறதுக்கு என்னென்ன நடவடிக்கைகள் எடுக்கப்படணும், அதற்கு என்னென்ன எதிர்பார்ப்புகள் இருக்கு என்பதை மிஸ் சவிதா ஜெகதீசன் அவங்க கிட்ட கேட்கலாம். இவங்க இந்தியன் விமன் நெட்வொர்க்ல இருக்காங்க, இவங்க கிட்ட பேசலாம். ஸோ மேம், our finance minister, she herself is a woman and it's her 8th budget she is doing that, and it's a record. Based on that, we think like women doesn't have much importance here. Comparing to other countries and comparing to other states, Tamil Nadu is far doing better, but still women are not in the CEO positions much like other countries. So what's your take on that?
So that's very true, and one of the major reasons, as you know, is because of our cultural background that comes in. If you look at also as far as economy is concerned, which you also rightly pointed it out, among all the top economies, India is one of the lowest. And the sheer reason of that is, of course, education and safety. So these are two focus areas that I think our country needs to really work upon. We need to find ways to incentivize women to join the education stream, but more importantly, to actually translate that education being part of the workforce. So what happens is, though the earlier policies have worked towards increased women education, what we have not seen essentially is that women are not joining the workforce. So we need to create streams, avenues. So allowing women to work on their own will essentially help it. So if the budget allocation requires that we see women-centric, programs coming up, where they can start their own banking facility. They are given loans purely because they are a woman and not because the husband backs them. We'll see women starting more and more entrepreneurial journeys. So that's one segment I'm hoping that there's some allocation towards, because that will see that increased workforce. The second one, of course, is the security issues that are cropping up at the workforce. So last year there were two key segments that had concentrated upon it, but what we have not seen is enforcement. So creating an allocation, especially on women safety issues with respect to enforcement of women's safety, might also increase their participation, because that that security is very, very imperative for a woman to allow them to enter into the companies. I also feel it's important that we see places or industries coming up where there are women, women find it easier to travel. So the transport system looking into this, or an allocation towards that, will also help the women being part of the workforce. Seeing women at the top leadership is another very, very important requirement that is needed to be done. But that push has not yet come. We are seeing reservations that are happening, but we are not seeing women reaching that leadership position. So we need to create incentives among the companies to allow women in more and more leadership positions. We also think that it's important that we give subsidies to companies that have an increased workforce participation. So maybe a wage incentive would boost women workforce because they are able to allocate it to women. What we are seeing is, like, if you see the maternity benefit, the first thought that a company essentially has is, oh, I'm going to have that much of a hole in my budget when I take more women because they'll go on maternity leave. But if that is turned into an incentive to a company, they won't mind having more and more women in the workforce.
Yeah, what you said is absolutely true. And to speak about the barriers, you spoke about the barriers the company gives the women. But if we have to discuss, we have to talk from the home itself. Correct. So what can the government do to do the in-house barriers?
So I think that's a more cultural shift that is required, which means that cultural shift has to start from schools. Because that is your first level. So it is very important that this becomes part of our educational system, which changes the mindset of our present generation that sees women are an integral part of the workforce. Because at home, we are still seeing the same culture we would have been grown up with. But who can change that culture will be the education system. So bringing that particular change within our education system, creating our present generation to think that yes, women or man, there is no difference, and we can see that both of them can be part of the workforce, you will definitely see that change. It has to start from the grassroots levels. It's also important that the government, when it does their particular budget, also does it with that mindset. What if you see allocations happening or anything that's happening, it's more from the segment that women are a weaker section. You can't do it from that. That whole conversation we are having about equality needs to change to equity. It is very important to think that yes, women are equal, but how can I better that position? So if that mindset change happens both at the governmental level, at the home level, you will see vast difference, and more and more women actually increase workforce participation will happen.
And especially in agriculture, we have more women working in agriculture, but they are not landowners, to mention.
Correct.
So, what can change these scenarios?
So, like I said, it's important to look at a woman by herself. So, when you see any kind of loans being given out or any kind of insurance given out, it's not. Even for a person like me, I need my husband to sign off on my loan documentation. You have to change the way that is particularly thought of. You have to look at it like how you would give a loan to a man. That what is the business proposal that's being brought in. So if you look at the agrarian economy also, you need to give those loans to the women, not because the husband signs off. And it's very important in the rural areas itself that cultural shift also happens, that the woman does not take the loan and give it to the husband, which is where the thought process comes in. So creation of streams of revenue for the woman in the rural place can take place through the banking segment, where you're looking at a woman as a woman and you educate them that what can they do with the money that is being given, and see that they themselves are contributing to the agrarian economy. You again start seeing a cultural shift essentially taking place.
In the last year budget, they had a separate allocation for women enforcement. So, does it had an impact?
I don't think so, to be very honest. Yes, there was a huge budgetary allocation that has taken place, but I have not seen it essentially having the impact. Maybe, the time frame is not sufficient to assess the impact, but if you look at numbers wise, there's not been a change. In fact, there's been a reduction. Why is that? Because so much was done. I feel because it's not translating into actual work. So what happens is that the budgetary allocation is done, but nobody is working on the programs in order to enable it. So if you look at our legal system itself, I think we are one of the few countries that has a specific law that deals with sexual harassment. No other country essentially has. Many of the countries do not have. US doesn't have. But we do have that specific law. But where do we lack? We are not seeing companies essentially integrating that whole POSH policy within their work system. And if they do so, they do it purely as a compliance. So where does the change essentially take place? Women still are not feeling safe or secure in their workplace. So that segment is something that the government can effectively work. That you do pull up somebody if they are not bringing into being that policy that you've put into place. You see the creche facility also. So leave aside safety and security, look at creche. That policy has been part of our system over a decade now. But how many creches have opened up? How many companies essentially put it? But if you see on the other hand, the kind of work that the government has done, especially Tamil Nadu, you have the Anganwadi system that has really fructified, that has enabled rural women to essentially become part of the workforce. So why can't you take that particular model and bring it and actually action it even through the private bodies? So that actioning bit is what is required, where the cooperation between private and government has to increase. We're seeing that in infrastructure. We're seeing wherever there is a economic fruit that is to be born, yes, you see that partnership doing very well, but not on the social front. So that's another change. If we can bring in, we will see a lot of difference in the workforce, seeing women integration actually happening.
As you mentioned about that Anganwadi system, like in Tamil Nadu, we have more women working on manufacturing sector. I have to mention here. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
பெண்களை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் இங்க தமிழ்நாட்டுல அதிக அளவுல பெண்கள் பணிகள்ல இருந்தாலும் கூட இன்னமும் தலைமை இடங்கள்ல பெண்கள் அதிகரிக்க வேண்டியது ஒரு முக்கியமான விஷயமாக இருக்கிறது. குறிப்பா இந்தியாவுடைய பொருளாதார முன்னேற்றத்திற்கு அது ரொம்பவும் முக்கியத்துவம் வாய்ந்த ஒன்னாக பார்க்கப்படுகிறது.